Peace, love. Good morning.
Hold on. Quiet on the set.
Grand Rising, Elizabeth. Thank you for joining us this morning. At 9 a.m., we will close our social media and continue on Zoom only. Join us by getting your Zoom link at elizabethvisionaryconference.org. We'll be there until 10 a.m. You can join us now, and we'll see you in Elizabeth's Zoom room. Today, your hosts are Mama Ayaba Bay and Mama Awa Ya. Enjoy.
Blessed love, everybody. Peace, Hawa. How you doing this morning? I'm looking at your picture. Let me see if I can find you. There you go.
Peace, beloved. I am well. I'm in the Zoom room.
All right, now here we are, meeting in the Zoom room, rocking with the Robins and the Blue Jays and all those guys. Yes, indeed. We're going to start off today from our main topic is, and then there was woman. And you know why we said that? Because we've been taught that in the beginning was the word, then there was the ethereal realm, and then there was a man. Well, it just doesn't compute mathematically because the laws were created in order for things to be properly motivated through the universe. So you got the laws first. Why do we say that? Well, in order for the moon to be in the sky and the planets to be going around and all those plants going on the earth and all of that, there are laws that govern them. They're not necessarily spoken laws, but they are laws because the laws is like the musical director or the conductor to the orchestra. So then comes that which gives birth. And the last time I checked, that which gives birth.
That was right. Female.
That was,
the womb.
So this is not a power play. Like I was talking to a brother yesterday about the women's liberation movement. And when the women's liberation movement came about, I was telling people that don't have nothing to do with me. I go to the service station and the guy don't pump I said, hold up. I'm not a women's liberator. You can pump my gas. You can wash my windshield. You can open the door for me to get in and out. All of that. That has nothing to do with me. Mm-hmm. And what happens is the generations bring about the change. So my generation, we had nothing to do with that. That came from somebody else's mind. Unfortunately, as the next generation comes, people assimilate with the energy with which they associate. So they become the proponents of an ideal that has absolutely nothing to do with them. Men were getting sued for flirting with women. I tell the brother all the time, flirt with me.
Yes.
I mean, lie to me. Just lie all you want. I love it. Oh, baby, you looking good. Mama, I said, yeah, lie to me. I know I look like a wreck, but you can go ahead on and tell me, yes, sir, I love it.
Yeah, but all of that stimulates the earth, and that's part of our healing.
Of course, yes, ma'am. It's like playing a harp. You know, when they touch us within with that flirtation, it strikes a chord within us and the music plays through our entire system and comes out of that beautiful smile on our face and the sparkle in our eyes. Flirting is part of the life that we live. I don't never want to give it up. So I'm trying to start a new movement. Y'all have the women's lib, I'll have the ad lib.
Like that. Ad lib.
I don't know where this is coming from.
That's all right. You spilling the tea.
Oh yeah, girl, got to do it. And anyone who is out online who's not an Elizabeth, all I can say to you is welcome and know that this is how we bring it. This is how we bring it.
This is how we do it.
Oh, come on now, Willie. Yes. Oh, look at that, Willie. Oh, now, Willie. See, folks, that's how we do it. Keep it going, y'all. You know, the only thing I regret that we're not all in one room. Because if I had been in that room, I would have jumped up too.
I would have jumped up too, yeah.
Ad-lib, improv. You know the word improv without the E is improv, but put the E on it is what? Improve.
Improv.
Oh yeah.
Improv to improve.
Improve. All right.
That's right.
Improve.
So when you kill improvisation, when
That's
this world we live in kills improvisation, improvement gets stagnated because you're not moving. You're not moving out of that one way that you do stuff. I don't have on no lipstick, but looks like I do, so.
Yeah, you hooked. You all hooked up, Queen.
yeah. I gotta write that down. Improv to improve. Y'all know that's a t-shirt, right? All right, Facebook, and y'all don't be stealing nothing.
All right, that's right. We on the set, we on the water together, folks. So,
but
my granddaughter, where am I?
Just to reflect back on what you're saying, that's my era too. Yes, open the door for me. And we're in this still teachable moment that when if I go through the door and a brother is ahead of me and he see me behind, I stop. And it's almost like he can't help but, she stopped to open the door for me, you know, and then you greet him. We have to get back to the little simple things in life that men, you know, and women should do. I'm old school, and that's the way I was raised. Open the door for me. Hey, if you want to pull the chair out so I can sit down and scoot it on in, you know, this women lib stuff is like, that ain't even for us. That it is not for us.
Shalom, shalom. Oh,
shalom, shalom.
When we move through when we navigate through these waters of life in an environment that is basically the antithesis of our natural environment. See, this is antithesis. See, people don't, let me get that straight. See this? This is one hand. This is the white side of the hand. Oh, excuse me, I mean the light side of the hand. And this is the brown side of the hand. And so this is the antithesis of this. But this is the left hand, this is the right hand. That's the opposite of that. But opposite doesn't really mean in opposition to. It means it lays on one side and the other one lays on the other side. Y'all know I love words. So when we talk about, people talk about antichrist, but they don't really know the definition of it. So many people assume that anti means opposite of Christ. Christ is good, the antichrist is evil. But that's not what it means. There's a part in the Bible that says Christ or Jesus was the early morning star. But it also said Lucifer was the early morning star. So how both of them gonna be the early morning star if they are opposites? Then they talk about the battle between the spirit and the flesh. There is no war or battle between the spirit and the flesh. Well, not in this body. So what does that symbolize for real? It means your higher self and your lower self presents a challenge one to the other. And that's what we do. We use our mind, the mind energy, to bring the overstanding and the unification between the higher self and the lower self. What else does that mean? You're the adult, your children are the child. So you got to guide that child from birth to whenever that, forever really, because my daughter's 40, I'm still throwing stuff in her head. So, right? Yeah. So you're guiding this force, which we call our child. And you have to guide this force that we call emotions. Emote is action, is movement. So our emotions.
Energy and motion.
Huh?
I just said energy and motion.
Energy and motion. Emotion, energy and motion. So when we are give ourselves permission to be angry, which many people don't think that they're giving themselves permission to be angry. They think that being angry is natural. But if that were the case, why don't babies stay angry? They don't even get angry. They don't even understand what we be doing sometimes when they be crying. People say they crying, looking at us like, what happened? See? And then they learn to take that anger, to take that emotion and manifest it as anger, because that's what they see around them. I knew a sister, a Muslim sister, at more than 40 years ago. She had 5 children, all of them under 7.
Oh, Lord.
Not once did she speak loud to them. Not one time. Never seen nothing like it. No matter what they did, she never yelled at them. Consequently, they never yelled either. They didn't even scream and cry. They walk over to her and stand between her legs and put their head on her breast or on her lap, and she somehow knew what they wanted. See, this antithesis business has thrown people, because the same family of people who created the idea of women's liberation are the same people who constructed the way we deal with our children. And I come from the era of segregation, as many of you do. And our parents didn't deal with us the way these girls are dealing with their children today. They're not picking that up from us. The lineage, the line has been broken, so to speak. And the line has been broken, so to speak. Therefore, we no longer are producing the generation that reflects their ancestors. We're always trying to fit in. I wish I was talking to 100 million Black people, because we do not need this. This is killing us. It's taking us O-U-T spelled out. So you see, I covered all of that little bit, all of that much in this little bit of time. But I don't want to, like, be heavy. But I do want us to understand that we have a choice. We choose to be angry. We choose to be happy. But we said, he made me mad. So what are you saying? I gave myself over to him. Mm-hmm. Or she made me cry. She really hurt my feelings. She hurt your feelings? Oh, you gave your power over to her. That's what you're saying to me. You know how I learned this? From a sister who was my co-wife years ago. She was 10 years younger than myself. And my husband said something, I don't know what it was. And I cried and she laughed. And so when he left, I asked her, why did you laugh? She said, why did you cry? I had never thought about it. And I said, because he hurt my feelings. She said, no, that's not what happened. I said, well, what happened? She said, you don't love yourself.
Oh, wow.
That changed my whole life. That little phrase with that little girl changed my whole way of looking at things. She said, you don't love yourself. I said, how can you say that? I didn't have an attitude because I got 4 planets in Virgo, so I'm always thinking. She said, because I tell you about my mother. My mother had a cafe in Jamaica. She was from Jamaica. And it was mostly a lot of men that came in there to eat for breakfast and particularly lunch. And she said, my mother, had she reacted to them in a way that they probably deserved, she would lose her customers. So she always was in control. She always was in a energy of joy and peace, which made folks want to come, more folks want to come there and eat. So I learned that a great lesson from her. Another lesson I learned from her was she wanted to get into the cabinet in the kitchen one day, and she said, excuse you. And I started to say, what? But instead, something grabbed me and paused me. And I said, huh? And she said, excuse you, I'm trying to get in the cabinet. And you know what I realized? I was in the way. So that's why she said, excuse you. She didn't say, excuse me. She wasn't in the way.
Excuse
I
me.
was in the way. And I understood that although we both spoke English, we used the language in entirely different ways. See, and so I chose, I learned right then and there that I was choosing to cry. I was choosing to get upset when she said something to me. And I realized I also could choose the other way. So lessons come if you keep your mind open, keep your eyes open, keep your ears open, and move yourself from the thing that you are, that you think is causing you consternation. And by the way, that leads me to today's title, which is, do you remember how yesterday, yesterday,
Oh,
today,
the past, the present, the future. Was it that? The remedies?
it was yesterday, today, and tomorrow.
There we go.
The past, the present. See, same, different words, same language.
Same meaning, yes.
Yes, yesterday, today, and tomorrow, past, present, and future. And of course, we're going to experience the fact that it's always happening when? Now. Oops, that the past is gone. Oh, it's coming so fast. Like, oh God, that's
It's gone, it's gone. You can't repeat it.
And at the future, here's the future. That's, oh my God. So, you know, many people don't look at life in this kind of meticulous way. But it's through the re-education of the Negro. It's through the re-education of our minds that we're going to get forward. And I'm going to say back, but we're going to get forward to the place where we left, where we started from. I let myself get lost in the woods one time because I wanted to find out if I could get unlost. So I know I'm crazy, yeah, but
No. That just reflect when you were here in Indianapolis. We did that. We went off the path down there by the museum, the IMA. We got off the path, and we kept going and spiraling ourselves. And I kept thinking, oh wow, if I get any more lost, which we weren't lost, I said, if I call Ken, he can't find me. I don't know where I am. And we just kept. This was a soldier, I tell you.
Hey, the only way to learn is to do it.
Is to get lost, I know,
Yeah.
and find your way.
And find your way because, ma'am.
Yeah, I wanted to say that I noticed that you said that you had to get yourself unlost, not that that somebody had to find you. You know, somebody else had to find out where you are, but you had to get your own self unlost.
Unlost,
right.
yes.
Yeah. And then, many people wait on somebody else to unlost them, to find them, and versus getting your own self unlost.
That made me think of when you were saying that your sister wife, she said, excuse you.
Yeah.
That's like outwardly projection, but it pertained to taking care of the inner. She needed you out of the way. It was, and we say, excuse me for what? You're the one in the way. Excuse you, move out of the way. So just thinking of words like that, I was thinking about why do we say hello? Why do we say
brings on assimilation?
Huh?
Why do you say what? Kind?
Why do we say hello?
Because hell is low.
Why do we say because hell is low?
Because hell is
Don't
low.
use hello. I tell no one that. Right. And hi? Well, okay, how high? Where do these words come from?
I think if you go into your conscious state, meaning your all-knowing mind, it'll tell you. And sometimes Hawa says your network bandwidth is low. And sometimes, most of the time, we don't even think about what we say. But it was through the Rastafari culture that I became real conscious of words, because they're very conscious of words. And I said hello to somebody one time, and they said, yeah, hell is low. So I stopped saying hello. good morning, because there's nothing good about morning. M-U-M-O-U-R, you know, when you're
Morning. Mm-hmm.
And Rasta say words sound in power. You never see no word spelling in power. So it's not about the spelling of it, it's about the sound of it. And those of us who do poetry, spoken word, music, etc., you know it's about the sound. You know, you can play a certain beat just like Rockin' Robin. It woke me up this morning. I'm telling you, it was all in my head. And music is all around you and in you. And it is a part of the flow of the waters of life comes over that through that music. So we talked about the women's liberation movement. That's what it was, a movement, like you have a bowel movement. You know, they came down into the Black community, to the Black women during the civil rights movement, civil rights march movement, whatever they called it. And Black women weren't wearing no bras. We was out there washing clothes and doing all the things that we were doing to make things flow. And they thought, I don't know what they thought. I can't say what they thought.
Burn the bras.
Yeah, that's exactly what they did. So they had a movement called Burning the Bras. We didn't not wear bras because it was a movement. We did not wear bras because it wasn't functional for what we were doing.
Yes.
So our children, our women, our girls, every one of us should have at least a group of girls that we're sharing knowledge with and information with. We can have it among ourselves. That's beautiful because we can polish it. But we need to pass this history on to these, mystery, on to these younger sisters. You know, they're the foundation for the next generation. We have to look and say, what are we producing? Not just the sisters, the men too, the young men as well. So keeping that in mind, the Empress Kamarie, that distracted me, but it was because I wanted to read what she was saying. So in keeping with all of that, we make choices, and we can do meditation. We can pull out all kinds of wonderful music to help us to still our minds. My grandmother used to say, when you're in heated words with your husband, shut your mouth and wait 3 days and then come back and say what you want to say. Because if you don't wait those 3 days, you're going to say something that 3 days later, you're going to come back and apologize for. Yeah. So keeping up with past, present, and future. We are, the present is that the future is that we're moving into the summer solstice. And moving into the summer solstice, I don't know if you all keep up with these reports, but it has been reported that we are going to be experiencing a solar flare blast from the sun today. It's also been reported that the planets, 7 of them, are going to be lined up to the sun for the next, I think it's a few days or for the next week. But somebody out there who's been checking it out can speak up about that. This information means that we all are going to be affected by this. And we are part of the planetary system because we are the stars. My grandmother said, every baby born a star is placed in the heavens. So you got a star, we all got a star. All of God's children got a star. So we want to be the reflection of that light and don't be afraid. A lot of people gonna be scared of what's getting ready to come down to the planet. So choose happiness instead of fear, because you're part of the system, okay? So we wanna keep our homes spiritually balanced. When I first came into Hawa's home, I don't think she'll mind if I tell y'all. And I came in the house, the first thing I said was, where are you? I don't see you in the house. And
this was many moons ago, just to let you know. I have grown from this.
Her children were children. Now they are grown men and fathers of their own children. But it was amazing to me because I don't know, some people say your mouth will get you in trouble, but it didn't. Howard just looked around and said, you know what? I don't see me either. So when I came back to
Tell
the
them
house
why.
again,
Tell them why.
I don't know. I think because you had all those
Oh,
boys in the house.
well, I am very creative and crafty, and I'm artsy. So I had one wall filled with African masks from my travel, and each year for my birthday, I would buy myself an African instrument and an African mask. So I put all my masks up, and my husband cut from a different cloth. He said, take those down. He said, it made him feel a certain way. He just felt something about him that he said that the way they looked disturbed him. And I did. Good wife took them all down. And so I basically designed my house to please just him. You know, basically the TV, the couch, the remote. but when my husband passed, well, before he passed, I started slowly coming back to me because I realized I don't have any me around here, meaning things I like to hang, things I like to represent and present. And my husband passed 2 years ago, and boy, you should come to my house now. It's too much me in here.
It's all about me.
It's all about me. But that was just part of that balance that I felt my husband was male instead of female. I'm trying to pull it up. The parasympathetic, the yin, and sympathetic system, the male, like Queen spoke about early, the polarity of opposites, but we look at opposites as being against, but yet opposite complements each other in a sense. So we really didn't complement each other. We functioned in a way that it was systematically. I always wanted a partner. I had a business partner. I didn't have a soulmate. Never was a soulmate. We were together 30 years. And bless his heart, he's transcended on now. But it was just following a certain protocol, a certain lifestyle.
That's basically what has happened once. See, I always say to people that we have a culture. Black people always had a culture in America. We may have descended from Africans. I know we descended from Native Americans. My great grandmother was Cherokee, and my grandfather was part of the Powhatan Association. So I know that part. I don't know that I have African ancestry. I know philosophically and historically that was the birthplace of everything on the planet. So by default, I have African ancestry. And then I had a reading that said my ancestors were from Dahomey and Benin. And when I went back to my African cultural teacher to his store, he said, here, I have something the ancestors told me to give you. He gave me a statue from Benin and a statue from Dahomey. I once had a dream that my mother gave me these golden slippers and told, well, shoes. And she said, now go on, be about your business. Do what you came here to do. When I went up to see him again, next time, he gives me a pair of golden slippers, the same ones that was in the dream. So I said, I'm gonna speak to y'all about that because that's our evidence of the reality of this energy that we cannot see, but it dwells inside of us as us, that we call God or Orisha or faculties, Abosums, by whatever name, as we have just shown that yesterday, today, and tomorrow, past, present, and future, are 6 different words, but basically mean the same thing, higher self, lower self. So I want to encourage us to become aware of what we're saying and mean what you say and say what you mean.
Say what you mean.
Sharing your spiritual life has to be the priority in relationships with people. Sharing your spiritual life has to be priority in your relationship with people. The earth can no longer afford for us to live a life that we know is not the life that we really want to live and know that we should be living. Knowing their responsibility or lack thereof will make or break friendships or relationships in general. So we can say this person is my best friend, or I've been friends with this person for a long time, and they know nothing about you. They know the you that you let them see, but they don't know that in the evening when the sun go down, you light a candle in the memory of your mother or your father who passed away. They don't know that on Friday, you may put flowers up to remember your mom or your dad. They don't know that on their birthday, you sang their favorite songs or whatever you may do. You understand what I'm saying? So it doesn't mean you gotta let people in on all your privacy and all the things you do. You gotta have some secret. The word secret is a partner to the word sacred. See? So you want to know what things to treasure and hold sacred and what things to share, you know. So we have to begin to live the life that we talk about and separate ourselves from these people who come up with ideas that did not birth you. You did not birth it. It did not come from our mental wombs. Anybody want to jump in right now? Now's your time, because I'm getting ready to shift gears. All right. This is what, now we talked about the past, and we're bringing the past into the present. Another thing that comes from our past is the fear of money. We've been taught the wrong stuff about money. I did a program for the, I think y'all probably have heard of the ship that the brothers found, what is it called? Henrietta Marie slave ship. Well, yes. It came to Charlotte, North Carolina, and I was given the job of, since theater was my major, I was given the job of giving the children an exercise to understand better the importance of the Henrietta Marie to us historically. So my group came in the room. It was high school students, black and white, brown and pink, and so I have a book, and the book had a picture of a black doll with, you know, the hair coming out like that, and a big grin on her face, and big red lips and white teeth. And it was an advertisement for toothpaste. So I passed the book around. And after it came through the last person, my question was, well, how did you feel about that? And the black girl said she was shamed by it. And the white people, I asked the white kids, do you know why she felt shamed by it? And they were laughing. They said, well, no, it was funny to us. And I said to her, see, these are your friends, but to them, that was funny. But to you, it hurt. So how deep does your friendship go? Mm-hmm. And so y'all had never thought about this, because you, the white kids, really don't care how she feels about things. And she cares too much about how you feel about things. And that's been our relationship all these years. And so I had a boy and a girl standing up and said, come here. I want y'all, I'm gonna say, get set, get ready, go. And when I say go, take off. So I said it, they took off, except the girl, she couldn't go nowhere because I held her belt. She couldn't move. The boy was gone. And I said, see, that's the reality of our relationship with you guys. We're held back while you thrust forward. But I have a question for you, black girl sister. Why you didn't turn around and push me out the way? Why you didn't tell me, let me go? Why you didn't ask me, why you holding on to me like that? I got to run. Why you didn't do that? And she said, I don't know. That's how deep the rabbit hole is. These little exercises are exercises that help bring answers to questions that many of us are afraid to ask. So those kids learned something that day. When they walked out of there, they were different from the way they came in there. And the sister, she was really different. It was like she was into some kind of trance or meditation. She was thinking about that stuff. So when I do my programs, my transitional programs with people, I basically give these type of exercises so a person can experience where they are for themselves. We don't need to tell nobody where they are. People know where they are, but you got to give them an opportunity to see it for themselves. So I have a little money thing. I don't know whether I got this from the Elizabeths or whether it popped up in my head. But what I want everybody to say is, isn't money wonderful? I release it with joy because there is plenty for me.
Ooh.
Could y'all say that? Isn't, and say it like, isn't money wonderful?
Isn't money wonderful?
Isn't money wonderful?
I release it with joy.
Wonderful. I release it with joy.
joy.
I receive it with joy.
I receive it with joy.
Because there is plenty for me.
Because there's
It's
plenty
plenty.
for me.
plenty.
And Aduni, take those pennies and just let them fall.
Oh, they're right behind me now.
We're doing a ritual. This is our ritual. Here it is, people. Love it, love it, love it, love it.
My little money ritual that I say is money, money, money. Money sticks to me like honey, honey, honey. Everywhere I go, I get money, money, money. Money comes to me. I just keep going with my little money dance.
Yes.
We do have to have a quiet
that money
windfall.
tree.
All that was, the pennies and stuff. We had to have some quiet money.
Quiet money,
So
yes.
some quiet money.
Daddy Grace said that. Daddy Grace said, noise hurts my ears, children. So just put quiet money in the children.
Yes.
He didn't let nobody put no pennies in. Go ahead, there you go.
Now we up here got her hand up.
She got all that money tree business. Come on now, we're gonna share it with us.
So what I wanted to say is yesterday, on the energy of you bringing forth this wonderful message and me receiving it early, I went and opened up my bank account here in Detroit. And it was based on this jar of putting $1 in 2021 from March to September, $2 from September to December, and December, the whole month's $3. And then I see it all changed. So I actually opened up an account with over $1,000 yesterday.
Ashe.
Okay, girls. Okay, young people. The challenge is here. Get that dollar jar.
Yes.
It sound like another thing, another challenge we need to take on.
I know.
Besides keeping up with every dime that you spend, everything for, remember Jawan was saying for 1 month, for 30 days.
Yes.
Keep account of every dime, penny, dollar you spend or you circulate. And now we got something else where we can take on as a unit.
Yes.
Yes.
And the affirmations, when I place the money in, I say, I bless this money. I bless this money with infinite increase. Yes. I prosper wherever I turn. I'm a money magnet. I give thanks. I give thanks. I give thanks. And so it is every time you place it in there.
Now, wait a minute. Break it down to me again. How did you do it? $1, $2, and then $3?
I did March, $1, March to September, $1 a day, September to December, $2 a day. December was $3 a day, and any and everything else you could put in that jar.
You started 2020?
That was just in 2021. I
Oh,
did that.
2021.
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
Mm,
And then
okay.
when the jar I wrote qualities on the jar, joy, harmony, peace, love, whatever.
That's
You can
right.
write it.
That's right. Setting your intentions.
Yes, indeed.
You talking to it. You're feeding it.
Yes,
Well,
You're
you know,
making it grow with your words.
because
and you
money is
also,
my friend.
you were all, amen, sister. And
Yes.
there's a yoga person I was studying with years ago, and she said, currency is the flow of God through your life.
Mhm.
So if you're rejecting it, it's like you're rejecting that which created you and provided you with the resources to maintain yourself on this planet. What I wanted to also say to you, Nawili, did you realize you were following the cycles?
No, I didn't.
Well, you certainly were. You went from what, spring to summer, summer to fall. You were right in there.
I say. Yes.
See, that's alignment. That's being totally in
Yeah,
alignment.
you're totally
Mhm.
aligned, like the stars that we talked about earlier.
Yes.
So if we give over to our alignment, see how much more progress we'll make in life. Thank you, Nawili. I'm gonna follow that myself.
And I am
I'll
too.
let y'all
I'm
know
gonna.
next year how much I pulled up.
Mm-mm-mm. And
Okay.
I use crystals too. I put this is pyrite, and this is in the botanical world, in our mystery world, our magical world, we use this stone pyrite to draw money. We put it on our altar. I did a workshop, and I managed to break off pieces to share. And you put it in your, how you say, your medicine bag, your pockets, your put it in your glass of water. Let it do what it has to do. Don't drink it though. But pyrite. Then you can go to the herbs, cinnamon. All these are money drawing abundance, prosper
I have a
that you
question.
receive.
The people, you challenged us to create a medicine bag. Has anyone had much success in creating their medicine bags? If you have not, get on it and put the
Because
intent that you want in it.
I'm trying to find what I wrote, but basically that money bag in Native American culture and even in some parts of Africa, that did I say money bag? That medicine bag is carried to your end. They actually put it in the ground with you because that is or put it in your put it with you. And that's all the little tools. You know, your medicine bag could be this small. Your medicine bag could be that you carry around with you. And what it is putting your tools that you need to take with you along your journey. You know, it's no instructions on the medicine bag. It's like I have my certain crystals. Like if I go off into the next world, I know I have my tools with me that serve me well on this realm. So add to your money medicine. You know, you got money on my mind and my mind on my money.
Your money bag.
Yeah. Hey, create a money bag. Yeah, that's a good idea too. but no, your medicine bag holds all the jewels and tools that you need. So I say, don't just reach for things you can see. You're using your intentions. You're using this here to work the magic for you. I say magic, but the mystery, it could be a better term.
Well,
When I say that to say, Mama, what's a better term than magic? Tell me about magic. Is that their term, our term?
Well, you
I thought
remember
I'd just throw that at you.
you know, the three magi, then the story about coming to see Christ.
Yeah.
The three magi.
Mm-hmm.
That's a takeoff from the word magic.
Okay.
And musicians, they are magicians. All of these types of words. And what does magic or magi mean? What's the first two words? First two letters? of magic
My,
and magi.
my.
First two letters.
Oh, M-A,
Uh-huh.
ma.
Uh-huh.
You gonna get it out of me, huh?
We're all in
Yeah.
class with you. We're letting
Yes, this is a teachable moment.
we let you be right or wrong, and then we just
And we'll just follow. Hey, we'll just follow.
yeah, right.
I remember the days. I remember those days in school.
We'll let
Wow.
if it's wrong, we'll let her be the one.
Let her be
Wow,
the
but
one.
I love how Queen of Bay breaks up each
The words, yeah.
syllable section. Yeah,
Mhm.
go on. I'm excited. Ma, M-A.
All right, and you got G, which is a relative letter because it's relative to the word good, which is the same as the word God, which is coming out from the word guide. It comes out from the word guard, G-U-A-R-D. My cousin did a hip hop piece, says, keep up your guard, keep up your God, keep up your God, keep up your
Keep
guard.
up your guard.
Yes.
I say.
So you got all of that going on. I see you now, Willie. You got all of that going on in the process of saying a word. And then what's the last letter of the word magi?
See,
It's I. So I am the magic of God.
Woo!
And
I
so
take it.
when you speak of the magic, then you're speaking of the transformation of things by way of your mind.
Yes. The God.
A baby, to birth a human being, a divine being, to birth a divine being. Sisters, we take that too much for granted. That's the most powerful magic on earth.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we take it for granted, not because through any fault of our own, but through the misguidance of this place that for some reason, the universal God has put us under or in or around or through. I think that the ancient Comedians probably got the best reason. They say it's because we are to use these challenges to become a divine being. To return to turn again to our divinity. I have to go back to the Bible because we all came up with that book. Those of us in our generation. Other generations came up with other books, the Bible, the Quran, well, now we got the Meduna Ter, the Bhagavad Gita. And when I studied the Bhagavad Gita, the Quran, and the Bible, I said, but the Lord have mercy, they all saying the same thing. They use
the same thing.
Different lessons to give credence to the words that they're speaking in these books. So the first thing I want to say after all of that is fear. Fear holds you back from everything. Fear will hold you back from putting that money in that jar. Fear holds us back from putting the tools in the magic bag. I left my house one time and I left the door open. I went to New York for a week. I don't mean unlocked. I mean open. And when I came back, nothing had been disturbed or touched in the house. Nobody had been in there. And I said, you know what? Somebody probably came up to the door, saw it was open, scared to come in because they thought somebody was in there. And then I have all these African masks on every door and mirrors and all this kind of stuff. And they probably were scared to come in because of what they think all of that stuff means, not because of what it really means. The real power of the magic is in your intention. I love that word. Somebody brought that up earlier in one of the workshops, but set your intention. And when I go out of my house, that's my intention. When I'm in the house, that's my intention. People will say, people have said to me things like, aren't you scared to be in here by yourself? I say, I'm not by myself.
I'm not by myself. Yes.
Ain't you scared to travel? You gonna travel all the way to Florida by yourself? I'm not by myself. See, so I don't have to break that down or explain that to anybody here because all the sisters here are phenomenal in that way. So don't take yourself, I'm trying to encourage you not to take yourself for granted, not to take this God that dwells in you as you for granted. There's a meditation I want to share with y'all, but I got to get it right because I don't want to be on here for an hour with that one meditation. Maybe I could give y'all 10 minutes of it or something. But it's a meditation for an energy called Sebek. Sebek means communication, the ability to speak. Like I'm speaking to you, you speak to me. In our culture, that's Sebek energy that we're utilizing to make the words sound out of our mind to our mouth, out of our throat to you. It's a process. And because we do this stuff so naturally, we do not recognize the process. It's magical to speak. I don't even understand how it takes place. My mouth is moving, the words are coming out, but I'm not really thinking before I speak. I don't know where it's coming from. It's just pouring out, and all of y'all do it. We all do it. Every one of us do it. But I want to share with you on that note, something called the Manipura chakra.
Ah, yes.
We speak of chakras. Are we aware of them? We speak about spinal cord. We speak about spinal bones, our vertebrae. Are we aware of them? My daughter told me one of our young friends now has sciatica something, and her 3 L vertebrae towards her lower back is curved now. Why? Because she spent her young years wearing spike heel shoes. And I should tell them, don't wear them shoes. They're gonna mess up your back. But you know, when you're young and foolish, you don't believe none of that. So now she can't walk. She got to get on a little scooter in the Safeway, a supermarket to ride through. But even worse, the girl just got married. So I'm just saying, we got to be real about this. Well, okay, you want to wear little tiny heels, fine. But those spike heel shoes, how many of y'all, do y'all know the story about pointed toe shoes?
No.
Okay, well, I'm going to tell you that.
You are a mess today. Well, you
We're
are
getting
a
a good
mess.
story.
Somebody introduced me to somebody, and she got stories. But pointed toe shoes, when I was studying, my minor was art and my major was theater. And so in one of my theater classes, they were teaching us the history of theater. And the story goes that the pointed toe shoes was designed by the gay men so that they could know who was gay and who wasn't without saying it. So if you saw the man with pointed toe shoes on, you knew he was gay. So that's the story of the pointed toe shoes. Simple as that. Manipura chakra, the faculty of the psyche that is the source of the drive to develop mastery of life in the quest for survival. And I thought about you, Aduni. I said, that's her chakra. She got that chakra down to a pat. That's her main chakra. That's the diamond chakra in her, because that's what you do. You have a mastery of life in the quest for survival, and you're sharing it with all of us. It is expressed as, and how do you know how your Manipura chakra is operating? Because it is expressed as independence, leadership, aggressive pursuit of objectives, defensive actions, enterprising, combative. When it functions correctly, the individual adopts proper and effective strategies, effective actions, effective tactics to secure survival objectives for itself and others. This is all you. This is all Ms. Aduni. The work to acquire an education, promote and secure the family, the nation, etc. So the incorrect expression of the Manipura manifests as follows: pursuit of goals or welding leadership with insensitivity to the welfare of others, insensitivity to being hurt and to hurting others. Like Donald Trump, his Manipura chakra is all screwed up. Probably got cobwebs and mucus and all kind of stuff in it. focusing on winning as a source of pleasure, valuing competition over cooperation, seeking leadership as an object of pleasure, seeking to establish order through force and intimidation, people who are bullies, anxiety and paranoia over one's survival. Now, that's not there for you to memorize. I mean, you can go back over this later on and then probably take notes, or you can go look up the Manipura chakra yourself. But many things that we do, we think is coming from our will or our emotions. But every piece of flesh and blood and cell in our body has a job. And when you become aware of the meanings of these things and what their jobs are, then you can understand why you perform the way you perform. I already told y'all the story about what happened with me and trust. I thought it was because I didn't trust people, because in another lifetime, I was scared of something and I didn't trust people in this lifetime. But as it turns out, it was the damage to my root chakra.
Can I?
Yes, yes.
No, since we're on the Manipura chakra, can I give some signs that to show that you're blocked or let you know that you're blocked in that area?
Of course.
When you're out of line, it affects the digestive system. It creates eating disorders, ulcers, diabetes.
Program every morning. I mean, Wednesday mornings from 8 to 10.
And the pancreas, the liver is affected. So it's your center, right in the center there. So when you're out of line or out of balance, it affects all the abdominal organs. Like I said, the spleen, the pancreas, the colon get affected, and it creates energy imbalance.
Yes.
It affects the emotions as well. It's like a domino effect that it leads to the unhealthy attachments in that person's life as well.
Yes. And the sister put up Manipura chakra solar plexus. Correct. It is part of the solar plexus. It is the solar plexus. And solar means sun from our
Sun. Yeah.
And you
and
know
the
that
color is yellow.
And it's yellow, and the color of it is yellow. We want to become aware, the Elizabeths want to begin to really get serious and embody this knowledge as living as much as we are in the embodiment of this flesh. We want to use this knowledge and begin to apply it on a daily basis. I don't know if you knew this, but there's a energy for every hour in the day.
Yes.
It said that on Wednesdays, between, I forget which hour it is, but between about 3 or 4 hours, you don't do business because you're not going to be successful. And businessmen use this. Caucasian businessmen use this. It comes from the book. I'm going to get that book, and next Wednesday I'll share it with you. It has to do with cycles and fate. Things that we gave them, that they took, that they discovered, and use it to become multi-billionaire and trillionaires. So I will share that with y'all next Wednesday.
And that's magic.
Oh, there she goes. Look at that. She identified it. That's magic. Yes, I do.
Yeah, I just wanted to share that there were some things that my mom used to do with us when we were children and stuff. And when we went into the church, my mom was always a church girl. She loved church. But there were, when we moved to Detroit and got into the church that we were in, and, all of the raised Christian, all of the things that was our culture became demonic.
That's right.
And we were not to learn any of those things, not to practice any of those things, because that was demonic. It was voodoo. It was and not understanding what any of those things meant, you definitely do not relate to astrology. You do not relate to what you're talking about the chakras and stuff. All of that you are to stay away from. So like Mama Ayaba, you were talking to me about, we were talking about abortions, and we were talking about different ways that they are controlling the population. And so that was one that, you know, when we came here, they didn't want us talking our language anymore, so that we could not communicate. And we were to leave all of that behind and take on something new that we didn't know nothing about. And like I said, there's really not a culture here. You're just doing stuff. And
Right.
so busy making sure that you don't do or don't remember or can't connect to your ancestral ways of life.
Oh, girl, you give me chills.
Yeah,
And that's whitewashing.
yeah. Yeah.
It's strip us totally down, make us totally lost. We have nowhere to go but to follow.
Except we had somewhere to go. And that's why we're here right now.
Mhm.
It didn't work.
It
It
didn't
appeared
work.
it appeared to have worked.
Oh
My-
yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Hell, hell yeah,
Hey.
Uh-oh.
hell yeah. We got somewhere to go. I'm trying to be quiet over here. I'm trying to be quiet.
Oh, we want you in.
Raise that vibration. What you got to say?
Woo! Oh my God. Earlier when you guys were talking, when Nawale was talking about she talked to her money. No, she's not talking to her money. She activating her money.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It's a
Oh,
difference from talking to something to activating it.
Mhm.
Right? So,
Activated it through sound vibration.
yes,
So
yes,
that's manifesting that what? That
yes,
divine self.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Magic.
Yeah.
God.
Okay, so now
God.
let's talk about the magic.
Okay, well,
So
hold
that's
on.
a whole world. That's
That's
a whole world being returned to us as we accept that really we all good witches. We all got burned at the stake. I'm clear
Come
about that.
on. Woo, woo,
So
woo.
Okay,
Woo.
Mama Omani.
what?
That's a good point to stop and release social media. And so I want to say that it is 9:08 social media, Facebook and YouTube. If you want to continue this, you see how it's getting hot and delicious. You need to go over to ElizabethVisionaryConference.org and get your ticket and come on and join us. And you can use that same ticket. You don't have to register again. And join us Monday through Friday from 8 to 10. But we only hear from 8 to 9 on social media. Now we about to really go in. So we say thank you for joining us, and we're gonna take on off and get real good. We're not at dessert. We at dinner now. We about to dive in.
Come on, tell us about these witches, girl.
Okay, so now listen, y'all. Do y'all know what Wicca mean?
Go ahead and tell us what it means.
No,
Here's the voice of God. They
really?
tell you don't. That's what it means. That's
Oh
how come they
my
tried to
God.
shut. That's why they shut all the women up, because women always heard the voice of God. So they had to shut us up.
Well, you know, I want to share with you on that, this light, the light coming from the Yoruba system. And the Yoruba system is Yemanya, well, Ajay, who birthed all female energy. Then Yemanja, who birthed the female energy of the deities. And then when you go to make, sometimes when your life is going all screwed up, you have to take food to the witches' grove. Why? Because the witches or that energy can mess up your life. And it just, that's gonna be, I'm gonna invite a person to come and talk about that. But that's a whole nother realm of it, yeah. That the witches had, the word witch has really gotten a bad meaning because of the children, the pink children who want to endeavor to do grown folk stuff, created a negative, story about the witches. My grandmother, now let me start my great grandmother. My great-grandmother, she didn't know nothing, consciously know anything about the Yoruba culture. But my great-grandmother had a conch shell keeping her door at her door, coming in her house. She had another conch shell at the entrance between two rooms. My great-grandmother she wore lace, blue, dark blue, indigo lace dresses. She didn't know nothing of that. That was Yemoja. All that what she was doing was Yemoja. She used to take the food that was scraps that was left over and take it out to the edge of the woods and just dump it right there. She didn't know nothing about she was dealing with feeding energy.
Yes.
No, consciously. But her ancestors knew, and they were moving her through that process. Just like Nawili was moved during the cycles, she didn't even realize she was in the phase of the cycles when she was working with that money. If all of you would take the assignment of going and looking back over your life, when something happened and what you were doing during that period, watch and see, you're gonna find yourself in a certain specific time frame that these things were taking place in your life. So my grandmother could read birds. She could also read the wind that blew through the leaves in the tree, but she paid her tithes at church. She made everybody go to church, but what she was doing was not in the Bible, wasn't in the Bible that we knew about anyway. You understand what I'm saying? My grandmother, I'm gonna tell y'all this little personal story, because ain't nothing really personal. They say in African culture, there's no secrets in the village.
There's no secrets.
So my grandmother reached a point, she had rheumatoid arthritis, so she couldn't get up and walk unless somebody came and took her to bed and set her down in a wheelchair. So she was laying in the bed one night, and I came to see her the next day, and she said, Myra, what was all that, them clouds doing in the house? I said, when was the clouds in the house, Big Mama? She said, last night when I was laying here in this bed trying to go to sleep, I saw all these clouds. I said, Big Mama, you know how you see things. You just was seeing stuff. You know you see stuff. She said, yeah, I just didn't know what it was. So my three uncles, I went in there, I said to them, y'all was in here smoking herb last night? They say, yeah. How you know that? I said, because Big Mama saw it. How's she gonna see it? I said, I'm trying to tell y'all, her eyes may not work, but her third eye works very well. And she saw the smoke in the ceiling. She thought in her mind, she was seeing clouds. And I ain't telling y'all was in here smoking, but y'all better watch yourself. So that she saw in the wall, people coming out of the wall, just bunches of people coming out of the wall. I said, Big Mama, you get ready to have company. And about an hour later, her children from Charles City down the country, they got about 9 kids. They all came up in one car, poured in the house. I said, see, Big Mama, you was seeing them. When Papa died, when Papa made his transition, it was like Wednesday. And she had the whole house made up in red and white. She don't know nothing about no Shango, but that's always been her favorite color in the house, red and white. Especially if an event takes place, Christmas, Thanksgiving, somebody's birthday, all of that special stuff, she always did it in red and white. And so when Papa made his transition and she had all her children come down there and clean up the house, she cleans up everything. All the seasons she cleaned up, and anybody pass away that's like her husband, she cleaned up. Well, anyway, long story short, around 2 or 3 days later, a pink pigeon landed on her windowsill. And she said, oh, that's Lee. He told me he would never leave me. And Dad, he coming back for me next week. This time I'm gonna be with my husband. The next Wednesday, she left. And everybody was doing the exact same thing that they had been doing the Wednesday when Papa left. I was leaving the hospital. My aunt was at Walmart. The other one was wherever she was. I mean, everybody was where they were the previous Wednesday. So she went to church and she read the Bible and she did all that stuff, but she still knew. She knew things, and she wasn't afraid to say it. And the wind, the way the trees would blow through, wind would blow through the trees, she would tell you what that meant. Right? So because I knew that, I can't do it. At least I don't think I can do it. I haven't tried to do it. But I know one time a person was invited into our family by me, and the person turned out not to be a good person, not good at all. And I went down to the cemetery. I stood over my great grandmama's grave. Now we're talking about witches. I'm telling you now, this is about power is what you're talking about, because we don't do bad things with that energy.
That's right. That's right. Oh, since you're on that, I'm just looking at this article here, and it says more Black witches were practiced in Yoruba under the base faith that it came from us. American witchcraft originated in West Africa, the birthplace of Yoruba. And it was, of course, taken. It just says everything you got, you took it from us. And it's just basically talking about the Cuban Santeria, the Brazilian, Haitian, Voodoo. It's all originated and came from us.
Well, you can take a blanket statement and say everything started from that, because according to even their own story, all life started in Africa. Go ahead.
But I'm reading this part that says many Black witches was nervous about practicing their craft openly because they felt that being Christian, this was something that they were allowed to do and perform. So they would do it in secret. I can tell a story. My stepfather, when he passed and we cleaned out a lot of his belongings, he's from Louisiana. We saw in his work shed in the corner, there was just identification that he were practicing his crafts, because, you know, it was a candle, and I kind of joked about, what do you know about doing, excuse me, correction. You know, he's the elder. You know, I thought I was coming in learning something. Found that he already had his, probably not even knowing, but he had all that in place, his magic, his witchcrafts. And when you talk about grandmother, I said, oh boy, we can do a whole series just talking about our grandmothers. My grandmother used to wake up from a dream and say, someone's pregnant. And everybody, teenager, everybody looking around like, it's not me, it's not me. She would say, I saw kittens. Somebody's already pregnant in the family. She said, I saw kittens. She said, I saw these kittens hanging off the side of this wall. And she said, girls, somebody's having girls. And at the time I was pregnant, I was like, no, I want a boy first. I want a boy. But I already knew I was having a girl. She already put it out there. She dreams fishes, and it's just her way of dreaming. The family become aware. They knew something was happening, something was stirring up. And same thing, she knew when folks were coming, she'll say, go get the door. And you look around like, I ain't hear no doorbell. And you go get the door and somebody's coming. And, you know, I'm just saying all that was magic to behold.
You're breaking up. But that's more evidence of what we were talking about earlier, the magic, the magi, the energy that we carry. There should never be, if it is true, which I know it is true, but if it is true that we are the manifestation of God in the flesh.
Yes.
Everything that there is God, because God is the all. If that's the case, then we are the evidence of the manifestation of the power that we call God. I see you, sister. You're giving me tears.
Oh,
No.
And so
OMG. OMG.
In the language, see, they've taken, they meaning the Europeans, the people who settled over here, who, well, there's a Native American descendant, I can't even say settle, the people who usurped this land and caused people to feel a way about being what they are. That's all a part of this larger process of becoming divine beings that we went through. If we look at these periods of time as growth periods, Ron Nefferman calls it growth periods, as we grow from human to divine, because we came divine. We manifested human. And now we are moving from that manifestation to the higher manifestation. I see you, Hawa, of a divine being. So this power that you have, woman, this power that you have, womb of man, live it, be it, eat it, consume it, think about it. Everything that they told us was negative was to hold us back. Just like I told you, I held the belt of that child so that she couldn't run. And when she didn't turn around and say, let me go, why are you holding me back? I was amazed, because you couldn't have done that to me. I said, what are you holding me like that for? You know, but she said nothing, which takes me to not developing consciously, meaning aware of who and what we are. Enjoy it. Give thanks to God. Give thanks to Allah. Give thanks to Oduduwa. Give thanks. Give thanks to whatever name by which you want to call it, because you can't change it. You can call it any name you want to call it. You can't make it something that is not. It is what it is. And the fact that our grandmothers were able to do these things and we're not doing them, it has nothing to do with our ability. It has to do with the assimilation and the indoctrination. The mind is like a sponge. What you put in it, it'll soak it up. So now we got to wring out that sponge, right, sister? We're going to wring that out.
Bring it out.
For the reality that is I and I. That's what I loved about Rastafari. When I first heard them say I and I, my mind went to the Roman letter I. You know, that one with the two things, one above, and the letter I. And I said, you know what? If you put a one in front of another one, in front of another one, in front of another one, it'll just look like a whole line of ones, and you won't even be able to see all the other ones if it's perfectly lined up. So that's what we are. We are the ones in the one. We are the I in the I. So I stood over my great-grandmother's grave and I said, Big Mama, what you want me to do? And she said, tell them children to get out the way. Well, before that happened, I saw the trees, the leaves on the trees in a circle started moving. It was like a wind, a light whirlwind was going around the cemetery. And then the words came in my mind, tell them children to get out the way. So I told the children to get out the way. One of them didn't get out the way. He went to jail. And when his mama died, he had to come to the funeral in chains. The other ones, afterwards I moved to North Carolina. I got a call from my sister. I'd had a dream about this brother and I pushed him out into space. And he said, I ain't gonna never leave you. I said, yes, you will. And it went out into space and became like a little dot. And then the phone rang and it was my sister. And she said, you sitting down? I said, no, but I know why you calling me. Because, you know, that brother is dead. She said, how you know? I said, I just dreamed him. He was gone. She said, I got one question. What time was it when he died? She said, why you want to know that? I said, just to find out. So she called me back and she said, the paper said 9:12 p.m. I said, 9:12, whose address is that? She said, I don't know nobody living there. And then she stopped. She said, oh my God, that's Big Mama's address, 921. I said, case closed. See, so, you know, we have a lot of power. We can move our people right now just with our power through meditating, through visualizing them, opening their minds, through visualizing them, being unafraid, to visualize them studying, to visualize them moving in the direction of the light and away from the darkness. We have the power to do that. I always used to visualize getting with at least 7 women and having all of us project our laser beam energy in our minds in the direction of something that we wanted to see manifest. Maybe they're up in here with the Elizabeths, but we can do
We can do that.
we can do that. We can stop worrying and discussing what not happening. All those boys in jail, in prison, all those young minds we need, they keep them in there in the most precious, powerful time of their lives and let them out when they're 50 and 60 years old. What good is that? Then they got to try to work their way back to because when they come out of jail after all those years, if they went in at 27 and they come out at 54, they're coming out at 27.
Mhm.
See?
That's right.
So we can do this. We can manifest the visuals, the visualizations in our mind and see our brothers, especially our brothers and our sisters, but the brothers in particular, manifesting the positivity of their power, thirsting for knowledge, wanting to know who and what they are. We can do this. You made a person. Anybody can make a person. You can do anything.
Mama Star had her hand up. I see she put it down, but
Come on, Star.
come on, Star. Unmute yourself. Oh, okay.
I was just in reference to, well, the whole conversation and something that Reverend Omani said, that's something that God had told me, that because I had asked God, why did you create the woman? And God told me to write a poem, Who is the Woman? Well, God has to show me, all of that. But one thing God said was that one reason that the woman was created is because of the power of the woman. Like everyone is saying, the power of the woman, spiritually and mentally. And the woman has the power to do a lot of things. And God is speaking to women all over the world, because it is the woman and the power behind the woman that's going to do all of this stuff that needs to be done. And at some point, there will be an announcement. And every woman that answers the call will gather to a certain place certain places all over the world. And at a certain time, at one time, at the same time, every woman will cry out to God in whatever way they see fit, whether they chant, whether they dance, whether they say the Lord's Prayer, whether they pray in the Spirit at one time. I don't know when it's going to happen, but it will. And well, I don't like to say the word, but however, it will. And so all of this conversation that we're having is it's like a man says, okay, a woman should be put in her place. Well, how are you going to put us in our place when you really have no idea where that is? So I just wanted to share that this conversation is just, I am going to, after, it's reloaded, I'm going to listen to this conversation again. It's
Because
just
power. We have the power, again, that word, to manifest.
Yeah.
We have the power. And once, and like you said, it works even better, this women energy, this female energy, when it's worked together, it's almost like a tsunami, a storm. It will make things move, things be rocking and shaking and moving if we tap into our higher self, our higher power.
Pam,
They go ahead.
Pam, can you hear me?
yes.
Her name is-
Wait, this is a good time. Yeah, right. Pam, this is a good time to talk to our sisters about the star.
Let's go. I'm here for it.
Look who's here.
I'm here for it too.
Hey, Makita,
Pam,
how's peace?
Oh, that other Pam, Pam done muted herself. Unmute yourself, Star.
Unmute yourself, Star.
Let's hear about
We said everybody's a star. Now come on.
She a shooting star. She just flashes in, flash out.
Well, before you start, I want to just share with you that vision you had, that answer you got. That's almost exactly the vision I had. That all the women will know, because I thought about that movie, was it E.T. or somebody, where all the people was drawing the same picture and then they met. I said, that's how it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Just like that. Because see, when people write, they're downloading. A lot of people don't realize that in theater, they call it stream of consciousness. But you're downloading information, it's coming from the other side. That stuff people are writing about, and then they don't come to pass. You see? Yeah, so yeah, I
Mhm.
saw that too, Pam, the women being called, and it's gonna be phenomenal. But this woman, y'all melanin carrying women, you have got to take your place, your position. And where's that place?
That's
You
right.
you at the top of the tree. If everything came
See,
forward
that's
in
why
this
it's on.
world from
We can
your person,
push it away.
what?
Mm-hmm.
If everything came forward
No,
from
I
your
just said
person,
we was talking about earlier. This it's like on this side for a reason, so you can push it away, turn back, bringing it in what you need.
So this is Allison. May I speak? I have my hand up.
Excuse me, Allison, could Star go first? Because there was a question posed to her that never got answered.
Yeah, that
Absolutely.
part. Mhm.
Go
Oh, you
ahead.
thought you was off the hook.
Okay, so y'all gotta know, don't play with me. Y'all gotta know, don't play with me, don't play with me.
Star, where are you?
Star is my middle name. And I was just informed that of my life path number. And Star, the life path number of Star is 22. And my life path number is a 33. And so I was told by, can I say who told me?
Sure, absolutely, girl, hell yeah. I am who I am.
Hello.
Told me that I should use my name Star because of the life path, so that when people say my name, they're saying my life path. And one reason why God told me to leave my job is because where my job, I'm known as Pam. And that's not what I should no longer call myself by my first name, but my middle name, because of life path number. So that's why you see.
Hey, Star.
Shine on, sister, shine on.
Shine light, star bright.
Welcome.
Wait a minute, hold on. Shine bright like a diamond.
Hey.
Shine bright like a diamond. I love it.
What all that is, Star, is the new you, the new beginning. This is the birth. You have been through the womb, and you have been delivered.
Well, I want to say all those life experiences that you had, that you told us about. Now you understand, because 33 and 22 brought you through the burning fire, so that you could be so aware and knowledgeable about why you're here and your divine purpose on this planet. So bless the darkness.
Yes,
because the darkness brought you into the light, and we love it.
You're working with those master numbers.
So both of them. She got both of them. It's only 3, 11, 22. There's only 3. Yeah. Yes.
Master numbers.
Yes, they're both master numbers. She
killing
it. She's slaying it and don't even know it. Oh my God.
Well, now she knows. Give thanks to your work.
Oh, she kicked it in today with the vision. She came through with the vision that you already saw. I'm over the moon.
See, that's right there. Because when
Listen, I gotta share this, and then I gotta go to work.
Okay, all right.
This Elizabeth, should I share with you guys that that's my mother's name?
Mine too.
Okay, so when Mama started saying, so what's MA? And when the sister said Ma, I screamed, because that's what I called my mother. I'd be like, Ma. So it's like my mother, the presence of her is so here, so healing. You guys have no idea. So that's just like super powerful. And I just had to share that, because it's like when the girl said, oh, Ma, I was like, oh, that's what I call my mother. I didn't call her Mama or any, it's like Ma. She was like, if you don't stop calling my name. But that was the thing about my mother. My mother was my mother, but she was my grandmother because she had so much wisdom, and she was my best friend. And because my mother, she's a Pisces. She could dream about you. She could feel you when you walked in the door. How you mess up your knee? You can see my knee from up there. She already knew, right? I had a dream last night you was kissing a boy. I ain't kissing nobody, mama. Next thing I know, that boy tongue down my throat. I'm like, oh shit. So my mother was my mother and my grandmother.
There you
Yeah,
go.
so
There you go. There you go.
Thank you so much.
I love you
Earl is-
guys. I'll see you
Love you
tomorrow, and
too.
I gotta go. Love you
All right.
guys.
Thank you.
All right.
Can I ask a
Allison.
question?
Allison.
Okay.
Yeah, let's get Allison.
Yeah.
You gotta
Oh.
say,
Hi, ladies. Good morning, ladies.
good morning.
Um,
Grand
morning.
Rising.
I'm so taken aback and just completely taken in by all this because my mother was adopted. She had my sister at 14, and the family turned their back because you weren't supposed to do that. And so a woman adopted my mother and took her to England. And then that's where my sister was born. And then I was years later, she met my father. And it was my grandmother asked my mother before I was even, she knew I was going to be conceived. She's a Pisces as well. And she asked my mother if she could take me. She named me after her. And she said, it's imperative that you let me take this child, let me raise this child, because otherwise she's going to be lost for so long. And I'm just so many things. I mean, I see things, I hear things, I have dreams. Visions all the time. I'm surrounded by people that are, you talk about the chakras. I need to understand that. If somebody could help me understand, because if you're being attacked, and I need to be able to meditate to have that strength and to learn what I need to learn. I mean, I've gone everywhere, all over the world, trying to find a place to understand myself better. We were told in the family of women that because women are so powerful, the men are in essential the groundskeepers. There's the heavy, but we are the ones that are responsible for making the sun shine, for making the grass grow. We are the ones that have the vision and with the back of our head. We are the ones who are complete to be able to be that no problem woman, but to be able to see the world through the eyes of a needle. That's what I was taught just by like trying to go to classes, trying to find women that are like-minded. And because I was raised partially in England, I went to a school where we had to wear uniforms, and I was the only Black person there. And then we went to South Carolina, and there's like 2 Black people there. I was raised this way because my mother was trying to find the best that she could for us. And so I just want to bow my head and humbly say thank you for this call, and whoever wants to call me so that I can get on the path and understand who I am more, and to understand how I can keep myself focused and safe. I would appreciate that greatly.
I want to say this to you. You're already
Following.
on the path. You were born on the path. In African culture, they teach us, when I say African culture, I mean all the ones I've studied it, so it must be throughout all of them. They say that we choose our parents. We're given a destiny, and then we choose our parents to develop that, go along that destiny on. And even though some people say, well, I wouldn't have chosen to have no daddy like this or no mama like this, but we didn't go through the initiation. That's the process that we're missing. You have to go through the initiation. I see your money. If you don't, the initiation is the connection piece that we're missing. A lot of African American women don't want to go through initiation because they don't want to be told what to do. They don't want to have to submit to somebody else. That's the problem. And that all comes from fear of trust. You mean, you don't want to trust nobody. But we have to understand that everything has a roadmap. Everything. And if there's anything I would recommend to African-American women, we need to go back to the Women's Society. A lot of women out here think they're gay, but they ain't gay. If you gay, I knew when a child was born whether they were going to be gay or not, or homosexual or whatever that was. But the whole point of the fact of the matter is why I say they're not gay is because in the Women's Society, that was the closest you're going to get to a woman. is in the women's society. And our women's societies were tight and secretive. And things that were done in the women's society was kept in the women's society. So some people are born in this time with that same feeling of closeness to women. So they interpret it as being gay. That's one of the things. I could tell you about the Rockefeller Foundation, who has an objective to create more homosexual people so that they will give birth to less people, be less people being born. But that's another day and another project.
What is the initiation though?
The initiation is the initiation process. Well, it depends on which society you want to become a part of. You look through different societies, or you feel it in your spirit that this is the one you want to learn from. I was chosen by the Yoruba to study with them.
And you're Yamaya?
No, I'm Oya. I'm the mother of the cemetery.
Shango.
Shango is my father. Shango is fire,
me.
thunder, and lightning. Yes, but that lightning represents the ability of what you call this? Telepathic communication. See, something that you've been doubting. I can see you.
We need to bring at peace.
I'm ready.
Morning. You know, I be coming in and be red
Hey,
hot.
love. Hey, love. You always come in like that. And before she starts, I'm going to have a sister. I'm going to invite a sister here, Yoruba priestess of more than 50 years. And I will have her come and you can talk to her and ask her all the questions you want. Okay, so go ahead.
Thank you.
Well, I just want to chime in. Somebody put in the chat the book When God Was a Woman. Y'all might want to read that book. I got it somewhere. Thought I had it over here. But yeah, read that book When God Was a Woman. It's a very powerful book. Then the other thing that came to me while y'all was talking was Marie Laveau. And as soon as I pulled this book off the shelf.
Stop it.
Huh?
Stop it.
Yes. As soon as I pulled this book off the shelf, Hawa, you said New Orleans. So she in the building. So this book right here.
Wow.
She basically, I'll let y'all figure it out, find out for yourself. Marie Laveau, she's from New Orleans, and she did a mighty work in spirituality as a goddess through Christianity, like the slave trade. Like she's dope. She's dope. You can learn a lot from her.
I drove all the way to New Orleans by myself, highway number 10. Never even seen no water come up that high to a bridge in my life, and got to New Orleans because of one reason. To go to her grave.
Yes, I want to go. She's been calling me for 2 years, just pulling me. This book came to me in the same way. So Allison, when you talk about initiations come in all types of form, shapes. And, when my daughter passed away, that was my initiation. Like my spirit guides came to me like, listen up here. You know what I'm saying? So initiations happen in so many different ways, But when
I read Jambalaya, that's what got me down there.
Oh, see there? That jambalaya.
Because I can see people behind you. Every one of these women, I can see people behind you.
Because your ancestors, your Ogun, they follow you everywhere. You don't ever come through this life by yourself, like ever. You know what I mean? Like I already know I'm the ancestors returning. The ancestors that said, you know what, we jumping over the side of the ship because we coming back. I'm one of them. You understand what I'm saying? I know I'm here. So
I'm gonna say this to Allison. Give me a moment. Let me say this to Allison. At peace is correct. And your initiation, since we're here in America and not following a certain path or not knowing, there's things that come into our life that may be hardship or that would make you go through a period of challenges or events or episodes in your life and how you come out of it. Those are little initiations, like a car accident. I say something dramatic, It could be anything. For me, I know my initiations were things of the episode of the heart that sent me into the hospital and seeing the lights, and that was initiation for me. Meaning, once you step out of it, you'll never go back to that again. If you didn't get it, yes, you will. Another initiation, car accident. Listening to the voices that told me what to do while the car is spinning around. Something with some episode, something with some series, something, that just does not seem normal. And you come through. These are all initiations.
All of those are events of initiation. But when you're speaking of it, you're speaking of what they did for you. But through the initiation process, you learn what you're supposed to do.
Yeah. When my daughter passed away, about a few days after, it was so chaotic in my mind. I couldn't get still. I was crying all day. Like, of course, obviously. One night I couldn't take it no more. I just dropped to my knees and I just surrendered. That right there was my initiation.
That was initiation.
In the middle of the most traumatic moment of my life, I felt my ancestors. I felt spirit guides like, what you gonna do? Come on. What you gonna do? Come on. What you gonna do? And at the time, I wasn't as spiritually connected as I am now. I was only 22. But I just felt like, okay. And then once it all boiled over, I just surrendered. I dropped to my knees. I gave it back up to God. And when I did that, and I don't know how long I was praying, I was just giving it all up. And I was Kiki living in Cass Corridor at the time, by the way. This is how I know that the Spirit of God moves through us and our power. It wasn't about diet. It wasn't about, I meditate and I do yoga. Something in me already knew. And so when I surrendered and I said, okay, I'm not going to fight this no more. I'm not going to, act like I just surrender. I just gave it up. When I did that, there was a sense of peace that came over me so profound. I can't even explain it to this day. I literally felt like something just came and lifted the pain that I was in off of me in that immediate moment. And I had a tremendous amount of peace just pour over me. And from that moment to this one, that power and that peace has always been with me. What you say, Mama? I'm sorry.
No, I'm just gonna say that these experiences, as you can see, are reflected through everybody. Everyone has had some kind of cathartic experience to reconnect them or to let them know that they are connected to the energy of our ancestors. What happens in initiation by whatever system you may study. For example, a friend of mine, she had a daughter, but she was married to the king. She got to be a priestess early in life. And when her daughter was born, you're always reading. Reading doesn't mean you're doing something supernatural. Reading means that you're talking to God by way of a system that people call divination. But the system is a mathematical system. And that system was given to us by our ancestors, just like our eyes and nose, ears, mouth, and everything else is on this body. And people be not aware of how deep the system goes and how much we can know through initiation. When this little girl was born, the reading was, why is she here? That's the first reading you take when you have a child. What's their purpose? What they're here for? Because you want to be able to correctly direct their life. You want to help them achieve the purpose for which they were born. Now, and there are some children who are not born to stay. They are born to leave. And when that happens, the reading is taken. The child in the Yoruba system is called Abiku. And all Abiku children are here for that purpose, to come and to leave. However, we also have systems in place where you can ask God, ask your ancestors, can you please let this child stay? And they say, yes, the child can stay, but you're gonna have to do this, you're gonna have to do that, you're gonna have to do the other. So that's like having an exercise in how much are you willing to sacrifice to keep this child from being sacrificed. It's deep the way this thing goes. And I didn't have no evidence of it until one day I was driving with the little girl in the backseat of my car with some other little kids. I used to always haul kids around. And I was driving about 70 miles an hour. And I know the doors were locked because I had locked every last one of the doors before we drove off. And I heard a click. Somebody in the back seat had opened the door. I pulled over on this, you know, off the road, and I looked and I said, how did she get from the middle seat to the door? And the little kids, the other kids would say, she just crawled over there and opened the door. I said, no, that wasn't her. So I put her in the front seat in the seat belt and locked the doors again and went on to our destination. I'm saying that to say that I had no real, I was just studying and learning like everybody else. But once I saw that take place, I said, this IBQ thing is serious. So this child was given, she had all kind of beads, all kind of herbal washes, all certain foods that she could only eat, all of that to protect her, to keep her from having to leave here. And of course, she's still here. My baby's father had a son who I was driving with him one day, and it looked like something just flew him off the seat. And I said, Alibaba, something strange happened when I was carrying your son. And he said, what? I said, well, it looked like he was just thrown off the seat. He didn't ask me no more questions. He said, where you at? He went and got that boy and took him somewhere. And when he came back, he had medicine in his head, medicine around his spine, all that medicine to keep that from happening again. So when we talk about initiation, we are also talking about remedies for things. So I just want to throw that in there to let you know that this system in culture, African, Native American, whatever, is thousands, if not millions of years old. And we have yet, like your accident, had you had the system in place, you probably would have read before you got out in the car, should I expect anything today? And it would have given you your information that you need to know. Because with God, nothing is unknown. God knows everything. We don't know everything, but God knows everything. And we can approach God with the questions so we can get the answers that we need. I think I saw Aster. Is she still here? Is Aster? She's gone. She was going to come and speak with us today, but I guess she's gone.
She's still here.
She's still here.
And we don't see her. We're just in a room. But I wanted to, excuse me. Oh, one more time. So I wanted to talk about what Star was saying about, and many of us have talked about women and their power versus men.
Uh-huh.
That there was one more thing as far as our power and how strong we are. Men could never deal with bearing a child. They could never take that pain. Mm-mm. There's been cases where the adrenaline of the woman, when it was a story where the car was crushing the baby and she moved the car, picked it up. So when power is needed, we manifest the power because we surrender. Much easier than the man that's got to read they've got to read the map. No, I got it. I got to read the map and stuff, So we are in our own way powerful. And if we need that power muscle to come up, it's there. Even if you're real skinny, whatever, when you surrender, then God just uses you to get you out of that situation or help the situation, so on and so forth. So we give our men, we want them to come and move the furniture and all of that kind of stuff. But I'm gonna tell you, I have moved many furniture, and when they came back, my husband came home because I needed it done right now. I couldn't wait. I needed it done now so it can get where I wanted it to get. So, but they can't bear children like we do. That's why we got the job. Our body's all stretched out and then it comes right back. So I'm not, I understand the power, like power, but we are some powerful women. Women, and it comes when it is needed, and then you do have those that exercise and reform their whole body, deform it, like, like that and stuff. But yeah, we are, even physically, we are powerful. I just wanted to throw that in because we say that all the time about the men and their power and all of that stuff. And I don't take nothing from that, but I do want us to know how powerful we are in the ways that we are powerfully, physically powerful.
In this society, we're not expressing that as much as if you lived in the country.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know, you live in the country, you chopping trees and digging stuff up and just like all the men folks are doing. There's no such thing as a matter of fact, a man brags about the strength of his woman. Hey, look, Georgia, she don't play, man. She's strong. Right. Don't cross her, man. Don't come up in her house no any kind of way. You know, and they used to say that too. Their house is the woman's house. They said, don't come up in her house. They didn't go to our house. It was her house. And he knew it. Everybody knew it. She knew it too. But she also knew, like the name Het-Heru, house of the will of God, keeping your house in order for the God's presence to be there so that when people walk in the house, they already know that. So you have, Ruth should say, Ashe. So when we have an opportunity to live the life that gives us that avenue to express all of this power that we have as women. My greatest fun in the kitchen is multitasking. It's cooking 3 and 4 and 5 dishes at one time. I enjoy that. I don't get confused or anything. I love it. And when I had a co-wife and I was standing in the kitchen one day and it came to me, an idle mind is the devil's workshop. And I said, that's why women have to stay busy. You got to cook, wash the dishes, cook the food, take care of the kids, scrub the floor, sew clothes, make clothes, go to the store, do all the things that we have to do in one day that make some people exhausted, and men in particular, to just keep up with all of that. So that multitasking, as they call it, is simply the day in the life of a woman. The Osset energy, the power to work the magic. That's the magic. What's more magical than that? When you cook food and you put love in your food, everybody can taste that love. I went to a restaurant one time. The food was so divine. I said, oh my God, I got to talk to the chef. I went out to ask the lady, could the chef come out? He was coming out of the kitchen at the same time I came up to ask for him. And he bowed to me and I bowed to him. And he went on back in the kitchen. I mean, that's what I love, that type of thing. So we are all connected.
Yeah, I've cooked my best food on a 40-day fast. Couldn't taste nothing. And that food was so delicious to my family. Yeah, Peace wanted to join back in, and we are almost at the top. We are at the top of the hour.
Yeah, and I gotta go at the top of the hour because my granddaughter graduating today. So.
Oh,
so then go
Mama,
for it.
I don't want to.
I don't have
I
nothing
hate to interrupt, but I need to say something.
okay.
Like yesterday's call. Thank you, ladies, for being on. So since you guys know who I am or what I am now, I keep getting very softly, and I don't want her to raise her voice. She's saying we need to incorporate someone to start the plan. To start the plan, the 5-year plan, the plan where we start arranging our house to where we have our stuff in line. And I this is a great talk, but this is something that we have to, it's happening now. So I want to encourage us somehow to come together so that we can have a call once a week on what we're doing to make this happen. So we're having this talk. It's great. At the same time, I want us to be prepared. So can somebody help me think how we can do that?
We'll talk.
Okay.
Yeah, we can talk and
Mama Earth is giving birth. So in the spirit of giving birth, you just go with the flow. And when you know that your baby, like, a woman knows when she's about to go into labor, if she's in tune. She knows when she's about to go into labor. And so I know for myself personally, like that. When I know I'm about to go into labor, I don't say, okay, I'm about to go into labor. We need to get prepared. We don't do that. We say, okay, I got you. And we begin to move in that way, right? And
I
things
don't know how to
begin
say it
come
like
to
you.
us in that way. You know what I mean? So I want all of us, because I fall into that trap too, of feeling an urgency or a desperation or some type of, we got to do it now. That's the worst space to be in. That's the worst space to be in right now.
Yeah.
It's
Like
not the
surrender,
sense
lean
of
in,
urgency.
and each
It
one
is-
of us will do our part. You know what I mean? This platform is extremely important to the process. And what you're talking
And you know
about is
what?
extremely
I'm jumping
important to the
in now.
process, Allison.
Oh, wait,
All are in it together right now.
Okay, everybody's talking.
Well, let me holler at you for a minute. We are all individuals. You can sit in a classroom to get your information,
Yeah,
huh?
you're off screen.
But I know I can't figure it out right now.
Okay, go
but
ahead.
but it's just something that the spirit is just bringing me to say, yes, you can find those gatherings and those classrooms, but this is an individual process. You feel what you feel, and it's not like what the next person feels. So that means that you have to create your own classroom, your own investigation. And like, all this is good to put it out there, but you have to become your own best tool, manifest your own God that works within you. I'm just saying, don't wait for a classroom. Don't wait for a gathering. Start with the little things to tap in with your meditation, sitting quiet, being still. Tap into what you feel, and the body has a beautiful language. It speaks. You know, what is your God saying to you? You got to drive that God. You know, how to say, you get to go wherever you got to go in your own little rowboat. Can't wait for others. You know.
Thank you for saying that. I'm kind of a geek when it comes to the numbers and what I'm watching, not the stock market, but what I'm seeing in the with what's happening with the gold and the money and however it's affecting the states. And so I'm going, okay, what is it that I need to say to help help everyone understand that this is it's right at we're at the precipice right now. And so I just want, as women, us to be ahead of the game.
When you know you're ancient, this is nothing new under the sun. This is nothing new under the sun. And I'm not saying we don't have to prepare in certain ways for certain things. Obviously we do. I mean, we're going to respect that we all understand that part. But at the end of the day, this ain't nothing new under the sun. They can call it whatever they want, but this is nothing that we haven't been through before. It's nothing the planet hasn't been through before. It's a matter of where you want to be, because Mama Earth gonna be here and God's people are going to be here. We're not going anywhere. And once we make up our mind that that's what it is, then everything else has to work around us.
Thank you for saying that, Pete. Thank you so much.
That's on period.
Like I've been ever since I've been on this program, the main thing for what I'm trying to share with, what I've been sharing with you all, is the reality that God dwells in you as you.
That's right.
If you cannot embrace that, then you're going to have all kind of emotional responses, reactions to what's going on in the world around you. But the essence of God is peace, or we call it God. But I was so glad to read something last night that someone sent me in a text message. This brother in Africa had done research on the name God, because I did research on the name God over 40 years ago, because I didn't feel comfortable saying it. I still don't feel comfortable saying it. But it's really the name of a German God.
Right. It's not our
name. It's nothing to do with the name of the creator. Like, I can call you girl, I can call you woman. I don't call you lady, because the history of lady is that the ship captain would have the little boy come into service him sexually, and he called him laddie. And from laddie evolved the word lady. So I never let anybody call me lady, because I know what the history of the word is. However, we are what we are. And if we are the essence indeed of this divine energy, which is peace, at peace, which is peace. And through peace, everything is known. One of the things that the enemy, I say enemy, not your personal enemy, but the enemy to the flow of life itself wants to do is to put you in an agitated state, because they dwell on your agitation. They dwell on your energy. The vampire, before he strikes, he makes you scared to death.
Yes.
And then that blood will pump through you
Yes.
even more, and he gets a big juicy piece of you.
Yes.
So what I want to say to you, Allison and everyone else, is fear not. That's in the good book. Fear not, for I am God. I am Yahweh. I am Yahweh. I am Allah. I am that which have been in your life from the day your mother created you in the womb. So the essence, that's part of our challenge in life, is to be at peace. At peace is to be at peace with all of these events that's going on around us, and know that you are divinely protected, because you're not a human.
Yes.
You are a divine being, and be at rest and be at peace, and you will hear where you're supposed to go, what you're supposed to do, and where you're supposed to be, and how you're supposed to do it. You'll hear it. I'm telling you, all of us here, all these Elizabeths, we knew this day was coming. We didn't know how it was going to come. We knew one day we were going to be with a whole bunch of women that was like us. We didn't know how. We didn't even have the words for it. We used to always pray for it. Lord, I wish I was around some more sisters like me. Oh, I wish I had some sisters I could talk to about these things and don't feel stupid. Oh, I wish I could talk to somebody that I ain't got to define everything to. And here we are.
Yes.
And I see everybody shaking their head.
Keep evolving.
I didn't ask them, did you ever think that? I just blurted it out my mouth, because I know it's true. And once you know the truth, what will it do? Set you
free.
Free.
Free up in here. This is where freedom resides, up in here, in the power, in the recesses of our minds. You know what I'm saying? And to be honest, there ain't no enemy. Ain't nobody coming to get us. Ain't no danger. There has to be a negative polarity and a positive polarity in order for there to be life, in order for there to be movement. So the negative people, let them be negative. Like, let the negativity be helping you.
Everybody has their role to play.
That's right.
Everybody has their role to play.
What I'm trying to say.
They can't touch us.
So if you're on the sun, if you're on the light side of it, be thankful. Rejoice. Rejoice, rejoice, rejoice. Turn on your music and rejoice. Y'all missed the music. Some of y'all missed the music today. But I woke up with a Rockin' Robin in my head. And Sister Aduni put it on, Queen Aduni put that joint on, and we was rocking. So do that. Put on you some music that you either can rock by or you can meditate by. You know?
And it can be a challenge if you live with a masculine. If you live with a masculine, it can be a challenge to stay in that feminine flow. But you have to stay in that feminine flow. Let the masculine worry about masculine things.
Okay, hold up. You know, I gotta say something right now. If you're living with a masculine, that's your greatest opportunity.
You can balance it.
To be in the feminine.
It can be a challenge, but you can use it.
It can be, but everything is based on where you just pointed to, how you perceive it, how you see it, how you interpret it. And I was living with a super duper duper masculine kind of guy. If anybody know anything about Cancer men, oh, there you go. See, right there you go. See, so I kept this back to the divination and the readings, and I kept going to God and said, "What do you want me to do with this? This is this. I can't be myself. Oh, please." The thing said, "Just stay put." I said, "Stay put. Why don't you tell me to leave?" But it wouldn't tell me to leave. But you know what I found out? I found out that I ain't had to go toe to toe with this person. I didn't have to make him understand what I was seeing and how I was seeing it. All I had to do was be me, be my beautiful, fine, feminine self.
That's it, because he commented, he don't care.
Yes.
You know, that's right. That's what he eventually did. He eventually said, I mean, come on now.
Yes.
But it was hard to swallow that pill, because I'm a Leo born person. I'm very go-gettish, you know, let's make it happen. If something's in the way, let's fix it. Let's move it out of the way and put this there. And his way was, what?
And that's the power of what? The power of the woman.
That woman,
yes.
Yes.
I love you all. I would love to stay with y'all all day, but
it's time to
y'all are divine. Be it.
We ain't gone.
I was.
Yes.
Oh man, y'all gotta get my book. All right, I'm gonna read this poem, then I'm getting out of here. The Seeker. Excuse me, I gotta put on my reading glasses. The Seeker. I hear you tried everything and doing anything. You just searching for your Lord. I see you running everywhere, searching into everything. I know you're looking for your Lord. In seeking, the seeker is found.
Ashe. Yes, yes, yes.
All right, all right, all you queens, love yourself.
Love you.
Love you.
Wheelie's on tomorrow and her team. Love yourself and love the world. Love
That's it.
It's great to get to Detroit to hug y'all for real.
Yes,
Oh,
yes,
yes, yes,
yes.
yes. All right.
All
Now,
right.
Mama Yaba, I'm requesting that you share the whole teaching around co-wifing, whatever what you said.
Oh, okay. Next
And
time.
then I am asking someone else to, it don't have to be the next time, but whatever. I'd like someone to break down the chakras, but by demonstration, with a power, where we can really understand it. And anyone can take that on.
Peace, you want to do that?
Yeah, it's like you talking about on my show, do it?
Or we somehow.
Oh yeah,
You can come on Nawili show. Yeah, that'd be
absolutely.
Okay.
Yep.
all right.
Allison.
I gotta go. Love y'all.
Okay.
Thank you, ladies.
Asante.
So you tell my niece I said peace and congratulations.
Yes. All right. Love y'all.